Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless here, glamping at this wonderful campsite. Here for about a week, but I got a few nights to test out this shelter system, and at the same time, we're going to use this Zenbivy Motobed as my sleep system. Now in a prior video, we did take a look at this in detail for general features, so if you're interested, take a look back at one of my prior videos. But today, getting it out here, going to get this to some good field use and really give it a good quality test, and I really do think this is going to be quite comfortable. But with that said, I have a whole bunch to do and a whole bunch to share with you, and if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to get into, do me a favor, stay tuned. Now before we get too far, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at Zenbivy who did provide this product for review. So now getting it out here in this tent, yeah, this is pretty much car camping, a little bit nicer than that to be honest with you, but not quite full-fledged glamping. So I have this awesome site here, got this tent set up, and I'm going to get this Zenbivy rolled out here real quick. Morning. Got a good night's sleep here in my tent using this Motobed. I do have to say, quite comfortable. So yeah, the first thing I found, this pad, just perfect. If you look at the blue seems to be more of that's your air mattress and nice and thick. And then the yellow here, that's sort of more of that memory foam. So it did a real nice job. It was very comfortable, and I'm definitely nowhere near touching the ground, which is awesome. You can see here it's about 3 inches total, so you get about 2 inches on the air mattress, and then you get just about a full inch on the memory foam, and it feels good. I'm touching the ground now, definitely quite cool on the ground, but up on the air mattress, very nice. And part of what I'm finding is that my actual body heat is warming this up nicely, so that when I climb in, it's good and comfortable. Now, one thing that didn't go exactly according to plan, I did happen to bring my own pillow, but I have king size pillows, and you can see here that the actual Zenbivy pillow cover is just a little bit too small. It's actually quite a bit too small. So I did not use that, just used my own pillow, and that worked out well. Now typically what you'll do is you'll actually stuff it inside this hood, and I started that way, and I kind of had this tucked in here, which again, my pillow is going to be a little bit big for this, and you're going to see it's going to fill that out completely, which is not a problem. That's just fine. And actually this adds a little bit of softness to the top, and I was kind of laying that way for a long time. But I found for me, typically when I start rolling around and then moving onto my side, I do like to kind of pull my pillow out and then sort of sleep sideways. And so I found this worked out a little bit better, but it was a very comfortable night's sleep, and it was, I would say, about as close to sleeping at home as I could really have hoped for being in a tent. Definitely comfortable. The padding was great and everything nice and soft. Now the other thing you'll notice is I do have this zipped on one side, so zipped on this side and then off on the other. That was nice because where I'm in a tent, sometimes you can get a little bit of I would say just it's a little stuffy sometimes, and if it's a little bit warm, you don't always want to be completely covered. So I find that I kind of take this, pull it on, pull it off depending on the temperature and how I'm feeling, just so that I don't sweat. And I found I was able to regulate my temperature just about perfect throughout the night. Now you do end up with a couple of different materials. You end up with that taffeta on the outside here, so that's very soft, but they say it's like a pongee on the inside, also very soft to the touch. It feels really good. I mean, nice up against your skin. It's going to be very comfortable, and it's going to give you a good quality night's sleep. And the other thing is it's not noisy. You'll notice as I move around on this air mattress, I mean, for the most part, as I move from one end to the other, it's fairly quiet. I mean, you don't end up with a lot of that sort of, you know, rubbing around and sort of noise that comes off of many different air mattresses. So they've done a nice job, and it's quiet on top of everything else. Now, as I flip around this to the underside, you'll notice that I do have the Footbox zipped up. This was nice because I could choose to either tuck my feet in or leave them out, depending on, again, sort of temperature management. And for the most part, I found that, you know, I did tuck my feet in here. It felt good, but every now and then my body temperature would come up a little bit. I just kind of pop my feet back out of here, and when it's laying down, you still have the benefit of staying covered, which is nice, but you can just kind of slide your feet in and out and just sort of manage your body temperature a little bit better. So that worked out very well. Now, I did find that I did not necessarily have to cinch this down. I just wanted it nice and open, so it worked out well. And I feel as though the overall thickness of the quilt is just about perfect. Now, it is quite warm on this trip. It is between, I would say, right now it's in the lower 70s, up through the 80s. And if this was any heavier, it would start to get a little too heavy, but it's perfect, literally perfect for a night like this. And as it gets cooler and cooler, you can continue to use this. I mean, this is car camping, right? So just add an additional blanket, or even wear some sort of warmer clothing. Whether you get into some thermals or down or different things, you could certainly layer up. So I would say that their choice for the quilt thickness is just about perfect. Now, keep in mind, this is the XL version, so the extra large version, and I am 6'1". What I found is that it is quite easy to find yourself moving down, and that's a factor of a couple things. I mean, one, I am actually on just a tiny bit of a slope, but the second thing is, if you look at where it typically positions your pillow, once you get this stuffed in here, it does sit down just a little bit, maybe about a foot off the top. Now, unless you take this and literally slide it up there, that means you're starting about a foot down from the top of the pad. And for me, that means my feet slide just a little bit off the end. Now, not a huge deal. Again, I do think that, you know, that's not really a problem, and in fact, I'm plenty comfortable. But it's just something worth noting that, you know, if you're not paying attention and you allow yourself to slide down like any other pad, you will come off the end. But for me, being 6'1", just happens a little bit quicker than for maybe somebody else. Now, there are some other configurations you can take advantage of. If you look at these loops, it does allow you to kind of play around with this and change the shape. I mean, for me, as I mentioned, just having the open quilt was the most advantageous for this particular scenario. But if you wanted to tighten this all down, there are ways that you can turn this into sort of, I would say, more of that mummy style, so a rectangular mummy style sleeping bag that sort of fits directly to this and a little bit tighter. But obviously, as the temperature continues to drop throughout the season, that may be something that you would do. But for me, again, personally, on this trip, just leaving it open worked out best. So now just giving you a comparison between the Zenbivy Motobed and the Zenbivy Lightbed. Now, keep in mind, this Motobed is the XL and the Zenbivy Lightbed is the 20-inch version. So there is a 25-inch version as well. I opted at the time to get the smaller version because I do bring this backpacking and I wanted something lighter and more compact. But here you can see the difference. Now, there are a few main features that are significantly different, and for the most part, the fact of the matter, the Motobed being pretty much ready to go, it leverages the zippers up the side, where the Lightbed uses, as you can see here, this sort of hook and loop system to tie the quilt to the sheet, and the sheet itself is also separate from the mattress. So everything being sort of
separate, where the Motobed is a little more integral. And the nice thing there is the Motobed really easy just to set up. You pretty much unroll it, just lay it out, no problem. Now, one thing that I did not talk about is the fact that as you lay out the Zenbivy Motobed, pretty much at that point, the mattress does start to somewhat self-inflate. Now, you do have to top it off with your breath to make sure that it's fully inflated, but at the same time, it does start to inflate just a little bit. That is not the case at all with the Lightbed. So this is pretty much more of a standard air mattress, where this is a little bit of a hybrid. Now, there are some other significant differences. The fact of the matter that the Motobed, having really that memory foam topper on the top of the Lightbed, you do end up with a little bit of cushion. Now, it has like a sort of and it's a synthetic insulation, but a little bit of a synthetic insulation inside the actual mattress itself that helps aid in a little bit of thermal value, but also some comfort. Now, again, moving forward, as you look, the Zenbivy Lightbed does come with its own dedicated pillow. It is a lightweight pillow. Stuff's inside, where you do have to leverage your own pillow for the Motobed, and as you're already aware, pretty much I have not utilized the actual pillowcase that comes with it, as you see here, because my pillow was oversized. But other than that, a lot of sort of similarities, where you end up with the hood on both of them, so that's very nice. You end up with sort of that modular style where you can, change things up if you want it to be a quilt. If you want it to be just sort of, an open footbox, you can do that. You can cinch everything down. That is definitely the case with both of these. So both the Lightbed, but also the Motobed. And as I move around on the Lightbed, just to point out, this is pretty quiet too. Maybe a little more noise, but at the same time, fairly quiet. So Zenbivy doing a real nice job.
So just waking up, got myself another night out here on the Motobed. Extremely comfortable. I slept fantastic. Actually, one of my better night sleeps here. This is a great car camping product. I can say I definitely recommend it. I mean, the features, very nice. The comfort, absolutely fantastic. The pad is not only comfortable, but quiet. That's kind of a big deal. So, yeah, I mean, to the people at Zenbivy, I would like to say thank you very much again for the opportunity to test out this product. And for all of you, I can say I do definitely recommend not just the Motobed, but Zenbivy products in general. So far, everything I've tested from them has been fantastic products. Now that I can say I definitely not only appreciate them and they're comfortable, but I trust them. I've been using their Zenbivy Lightbed now in some pretty significant situations, and it's performed wonderfully. So Zenbivy, nice job. And so at this point, unfortunately, this trip is coming to a conclusion. The only thing left to do is to pack this up and get out of here. So I've got a bunch to do. So alright guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. Hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.